Speaker 1.
I'd always wanted to visit Australia, and when my friend Brad, who lives in Sydney, invited me to his wedding, I accepted the invitation immediately. I arrived in Sydney about a week before the wedding and spent as much time as possible taking in the sights. I really liked the Sydney Aquarium. There's a glass chamber in the aquarium that allows visitors to get a close look at some incredible sea creatures, including sharks. All in all, my holiday was wonderful and I really enjoyed Brad's wedding. My only regret is that I never got to see a kangaroo.
Speaker 2.
When I received a letter informing me that I'd been accepted into the New York Academy of Art, I was absolutely thrilled. Still, as excited as I was also a little nervous about leaving home and moving to a new place all by myself. My first day in New York was overwhelming. It's a fast-paced city and it can be quite a challenge keeping up. It took me a few months to settle in, and there were times when I felt quite homesick. Now I'm thoroughly enjoying my studies, and I've just had a painting in an exhibition at the college. Who knows, maybe one day you'll see my work in an art gallery. Now wouldn't that be something?
Speaker 3.
I'd been working as an archaeologist for about a year when I heard that Professor Harold Jones, a world-famous scientist, was putting together a team of experts to help him search for a lost city in Mexico. It had always been my dream to work with Professor Jones, so I immediately handed in my resignation and booked a ticket to Mexico. My plan was to convince the professor to let me be part of his team, even though I wasn't very experienced. Luckily, the professor was quite impressed with my CV and decided to give me a job. I've been in Mexico for 6 months now. It's been a wonderful learning experience for me, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Speaker 4.
I'm a writer and I had been struggling to come up with a suitable ending for my latest book. So my publisher suggested that I go away for a while. I decided to rent a small cabin near Lake Winston, which is about a 2-hour drive from the town where I live. I spent most of my time at the lake swimming, fishing and admiring the glorious sunsets. The scenery was so beautiful that I took as many photos as I could. I must say, the experience definitely stimulated my creativity and, by the time I returned home, I had thought of a brilliant ending for my book. Funnily enough, when my publisher saw the photos that I had taken, he told me he wanted to include them in a book on outdoor adventures. I had no idea I was such a skilled photographer.
Speaker 5.
I've been working as an accountant for about 10 years, and I have to admit that adding and subtracting numbers all day long can get a little boring. Last summer, I decided it was time for an adventure, so I took a month off and went to stay with my cousin at his farm. I've always loved animals and was thrilled when my cousin agreed to let me help him with some of the chores. I was even allowed to milk the cows. Being so close to nature was wonderful, and there were moments during my holiday when I could clearly imagine myself giving up my job in the city and moving to the country. Maybe one day.